Is the Steelers season over?
No, it's week 2. Come on now. Come on. Come on. It's week 2.
Big Deke news. Now, to be fair to the defense, I know you guys aren't going to want to hear this. They technically didn't give up 30 plus. And there's a lot of damning stats out there towards the defense. Advanced stats, simple stats, stats that date back to last year. But, you know, they only gave up 24. It wasn't 31, so not as bad is what the final score indicates. You could thank Caleb Johnson for the 31. But still not good. But, I mean, it's just such a mixed bag, man. It's just the inconsistency. And it's the inconsistency and the red flags that continue to pop up with these Steeler teams, and in particular the defense, especially when the defense is the highest paid, the expectations are higher. Tomlin's a defensive-oriented head coach, but you're seeing lack of effort. You're seeing too many random explosive plays, too much miscommunication. When does it stop? This was supposed to be the year that it stopped, right? Steelers basically said at the end of last season, it's not Tomlin, it's not the coaching staff, it's the players, it's the personnel. We need an overhaul, both offensively and defensively. We're seeing the same stuff. Back-to-back games of 30-plus points given up. Well, again, 24 in this last one. And they weren't that bad. It wasn't all bad. It wasn't all that bad till it became bad. I thought it was a pretty decent defensive performance. I really did for the majority of the game, for the first 2.5 quarters. Got the splash. The run stopping was better. Secondary was all right. Like I said, the splash definitely helped with the secondary getting those interceptions. Jalen Ramsey won, and I guess Herbig we can't count as it being someone in the secondary getting that interception, but outside of a couple explosives from Seattle, secondary kind of held their own. There were some 3-and-outs. Because there was a case whenever Tomlin punted it, I personally wasn't the biggest fan of it. You have Aaron Rodgers, it's 4th and 1, you're at midfield. Just go for it. Just go for it. Come on. But there was a case with how the defense was playing that we had momentum on that side of the ball and that we were going to be able to get Seattle to have another 3-and-out or not really have them extend a series that much to where they get points and they would be punting right back to us and we could play that field position game. There was a case for it. So, that tells me the defense was playing pretty solidly because I had a text to my buddy at that point. We were both a little upset about the Steelers not going for it, but I did text at the time, defense is playing pretty good. And then it didn't. What have you done for me lately? It's one of those leagues. How do you finish? It's not how you start, it's how you finish. Defense finished terribly. Absolute terribly those last couple possessions. But I think there's still a silver lining with this. It's week 2. We're 1-1. Could be worse. We could be 0-2. The schedule lightens up over the next 4 to 5 weeks. Schedule is actually, look at it now. It's pretty damn easy. With how J.J. McCarthy played yesterday and he's injured, he might not even play in that Ireland game. I don't know if that's going to be a good or bad thing for the Vikings with what he did against the Falcons yesterday. Joe Burrow out for the Bengals pretty much for the whole season. Now, I don't think offensively, to be honest with you, we saw it with Jake Browning a couple years ago. I don't think Bengals are going to have too much of a downtick in offensive production. I think Browning's going to be a little more erratic with the ball, have some more turnovers, because there is a difference between Joe Burrow and Jake Browning. But don't be surprised if Bengals are still in the mix as the season goes on and are competing for a wild card spot. I'm not going to say those are going to be cupcake games, but Bengals are definitely less of a threat now. Browns look just flat out right terrible. So, schedule lightens up. There were some improvements made on defense. Some. Offense, I think, made some improvements. And it really just does come down to sometimes in these games in the NFL, 2 to 3 plays. Because you can make a case if those 2 to 3 plays, however you want to describe them, boneheaded plays, unlucky plays, unfortunate plays, stupid plays, whatever you want to say about them, and you know what plays I'm talking about. If they go our way, the score's flipped and we win 31-17. It didn't. It's a results-based business. We end up getting the loss, and we're talking about these certain things on a Monday, but I don't know. It's week 2. There are concerns, though. I can't just completely go full positive and brush some of these concerns aside, particularly on defense. Offense, I low-key like what I saw. Low-key. I think there's fixes, like trading for a running back, trading for another receiver, that could help. But the important stuff, like how Rodgers looks, he was more mobile in this game, was making crazy-ass throws, kept us in rhythm, got us in the right place for the most part. Run game had an uptick. I think the offensive line did better. Receiver drops, red flags there, no doubt about it, but that just comes down to just catch the ball, right? DK Metcalf, I'm thinking those drops won't be an issue anymore. Not anymore, but not as prevalent from what we saw these first couple weeks. Muth, I mean, I don't know. We see some of the Muth drops pop up, unfortunately, too consistently throughout his career. That was an absolute dime by Aaron Rodgers. Absolute dime. Reminiscent of the Big Ben throw from back in like 2014, 2015 to AB against the Browns home opener. It's a spitting image of that play, really. So Rodgers still got it, man. He still got it. Offense, I have way more hope in the offense than that defense. The defense, even despite the injuries, there still shouldn't be some of these rudimentary miscommunication stuff happening, lack of effort stuff happening. I know we're missing Derek Harmer. I know we're missing JPJ. I know we're missing Deshaun Elliott. But we still got guys. The reason we made the offseason moves that we did was for injuries. Alex Highsmith being out as well. I mean, we have certain pieces in place. We have the depth chart like it is to overcome some injuries. Now, yeah, unfortunately, we got the injury bug early right here. But T.J. Watt's getting paid $40 million for a reason. Jalen Ramsey was traded for a reason and is getting paid for a reason. Now, Jalen Ramsey did have some nice plays, some splash plays. Don't get me wrong. But Patrick Queen was brought in for a reason, too. And Peyton Wilson was drafted in the 3rd round for a reason, too. Cam Hayward was given his little incentive upgrade before the season for a reason. It's not coming to full fruition here. Like, we can't be expecting. I know Derek Harmon's out, our 1st-round pick, but were we really expecting him to be Mean Joe Green in his first 2 games in his rookie year? Were we really expecting him to be like that big of a loss if he was injured and couldn't play week 1 and week 2? Because we still got Keanu Benton, we still got Cam Hayward, Daniel Aquale, we signed in free agency. Isaiah Loudermilk got hurt, but you drafted Logan Lee for a reason and kept him around, didn't cut him. You know? So maybe it goes back to defensive philosophy, schemes, coaching staff stuff. I don't know, dude. I don't know, because that's where I'm at with it. That's why, like, I don't have as much confidence in the defense, or I'm a little bit more concerned about the defense bouncing back. Offense, we can understand a little bit more. Whole new quarterback, new receivers, although there's no excuse for the drops, but they're still plugging along, man. Like, Rodgers week 1, 4 touchdowns, puts up 30-plus points. This game, if it wasn't for the miscommunication with Calvin Austin, that's somewhere in the 20s right there. But the defense, for what we're paying them, what the expectations are, the players that we have, same shit, different season. So should we be confident all of a sudden we get back healthy that everything's going to change? Because when we were healthy outside of Harmon and Herbig in week 1, Jets were running all over us. Justin Fields had a field day. And then look at what the Jets just did last week. As this season goes on, there's going to be less of an excuse for it being early and chemistry issues and communication issues. There's going to be less of that excuse and everything still being new, still being fresh. Yeah, all we can hope for is, they just get their shit together. Because I don't really have a definitive fix I can give you guys. Is TJ Watt all of a sudden going to become TJ Watt again? We had those concerns with TJ and giving him the contract going back to the offseason, seeing how we finished 2024, the age, the drop-off in play, like all that stuff. It was possible that he was never going to get back to TJ Watt. First 2 weeks, not looking promising. So should I be sitting here and saying, just give TJ time? Give TJ, don't worry about TJ. I don't know. Little worried. Cam Hayward, he ain't getting any younger. Cam Hayward played pretty good yesterday, though. Like the Keanu Benton stuff, too. Are we playing him out of position? Is that just malpractice on the Steelers organization part, coaching staff part? Keanu Benton, how's that getting fixed? Are we expecting Y.A. Black as a fifth-round rookie to all of a sudden, like I was saying with Derek Harmon, be the next Casey Hampton or the next Mean Joe Green for us? All of a sudden out of nowhere. Can we predict that? Patrick Queen, Peyton Wilson. I don't know. Maybe they're just, so far, just not living up to Bill. Not living up to the hype. Not living up to the expectations. Can I confidently say that turns around at some point this season? Can I confidently say that? Don't worry. Don't worry. Track record really isn't there. Juan Thornhill, Chuck Clark. Like the signings, low risk, high reward, but maybe you can make the argument there was still a reason that they were available like that. Now, I like the Jabril Peppers pickup. Same thing. Low risk, high reward. We expecting him to be the X factor on defense that gets us from giving 30-plus points up to probably where we should be, 14, 15 points a game. I don't know, man. I don't know. So a little bit more concerning, or more concerned with the defense going forward. I don't have anything for you guys with it. I think that's what I'm saying. I gave you some of the solutions on offense a little bit. For defense, I don't know if it's there. I don't. I think Rodgers is playing good enough. I think the O-line took a step in the right direction. Running game got a little bit better. Simply for receivers, the weapons, you just gotta catch the ball. Catch the ball. That'll help. Little miscommunication, back of the end zone. All right. I think quicker fixes. Easier fixes. Ones that you could see actually happening over the next 2-3 weeks, 4 weeks. Defense, I don't know. It's been consistently the same issues with the defense. So who does that fall on? We'll see. We'll see, man. We'll see if it does get fixed. Because that's all I got. You just got to get your shit together. Get healthy, get your shit together, and hopefully this doesn't happen anymore. But is the season over? No, because that could happen. Maybe there's just a flip of the switch. You build more momentum. You build chemistry. Schedule lightens up. But if some of you say, even if we rattle off some wins here, we're sitting at 4-2, 5-1, week 6, week 7. Some of you say, oh, that may be fool's gold because of the opponents we play. You may be right on that because we saw what happened last year. You may be right. I remember in particular, the best example I can think of is the Giants, where we had that game on lock, but then the defense started giving up way too many yards to no-name running backs and Danny Dimes, where they got it within a single score last minute of the game, and they're driving in our zone. But we still come out of the game with a win, and technically we only gave up, I think it was 18 points. Looks good on paper, looks good on the stat sheet for the defense, but if you watch the game, you're like, nah, there's some holes in this defense. There's some leaks. There's some issues here that if we don't fix for when we play teams like the Eagles, the Chiefs, and the Ravens, they're going to pop up in an even worse way. So maybe that's part of it. We just got to see how it looks. But it's early, man. It's early. this one did come down to the Caleb Johnson fumble, the miscommunication between Rodgers and Calvin Austin in the end zone. And who was it? Was it TJ Watt or Patrick Queen? When Darnold went down the field and they scored that touchdown late, they converted on a 3rd and long. TJ Watt or Patrick Queen were really close to sacking him, like really close, but they just missed, and he chucked one up to one of his no-name receivers or no-name tight ends, and they caught it, got the play. So, yeah, if TJ or Patrick Queen makes that play, a lot of woulda, coulda, shouldas. I get it. A lot of. At least 2 of those you feel like you could definitely fix, right? The Caleb Johnson one, you just don't have him returning kicks anymore, and the Rodgers, Calvin Austin, that's something they work out in practice in meetings. The Patrick Queen, TJ Watt one, it's like, I don't know, is that just a skill issue, or is that just them not being where they should be anymore from a talent standpoint or just an overall ability standpoint? You could question that, going back to what I was saying a few minutes ago. So let me know your thoughts. I didn't really have too big of a plan coming into this show right here. I just wanted to, I don't know, rant, just get some thoughts out that I think are relevant for a Monday coming off of that loss. I don't think the Caleb Johnson stuff is really interesting. I think that's just beating a dead horse. Rookie made a mistake, didn't know the rule. You move on, right? It is what it is. Did impact the game, but I don't think there's much more to that particular play than that assessment. So, anything else? No. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments. Hope you enjoyed. Stay chillin'. Peace.